I've helped people as young as 16 years old drop out of high school and go from 0 to 10, 20, 30K a month and travel the world. I've also helped 21-year-olds make over 100 to 200K a month. And the principles I'm about to share with you today are very much present, and even more so in the 2-3 million a month businesses. Number one, conviction is everything. People borrow your confidence until they build their own. When you show conviction, you give them permission to basically be like, okay, you know what? I have so many limiting beliefs. There's so many people who've told me that this is not possible. Stay safe, stay small, don't risk anything. There's finally this guy who's saying, you can do this. You 100% can. Why shouldn't you be able to do this? Suddenly their eyes light up because they're like, finally somebody believes in me. And just that is enough for them to go, you know what? Let's do it. Because of that conviction that they now borrow from you, they get to succeed. When somebody doesn't believe in themselves, you can give them an amazing sales script and they will still not close the deal because they lack the conviction. They are still insecure. They don't believe they can. They don't believe their prospect is capable of getting results, and they don't believe in their product. Well, if you have no belief, you can say all the right words and nobody will buy from you. And so conviction is everything. You have to believe before you achieve. Most people, they have ingrained in their brain, I need to get results first. And when I get results, then I can start believing and speaking with conviction. Unfortunately, that's not how the universe works. Show up as the person with total conviction. And once you do that, then the results come. Results are not a consequence of willingness or potential. Results are a consequence of identity. Most people get this the wrong way around. They go, when I achieve enough things, then I can be the person I really think I am. That doesn't work. You gotta be the person first, and then the results will flow from you as a consequence of you being that person. Next one, stories sell. A strong narrative moves hearts faster than a list of features. If all your sales pitch is like, so you will get this thing and this training and this video and we will help you solve this problem, that is cool, right? And it has value, but it doesn't create emotion. What creates emotion in people is a story. I used to be in elementary school and literally kids would call me poop, right? Because I was in an all white school. I have a brown skin color, and they'd be like, oh, did you smear poop all over your body? Why are you brown? And they'd say things like the N word, and they would scold me, right? Just for being brown. I couldn't even do anything about that. So I always felt different. I always felt like an outsider. I never really felt like I was part of people. Some of you might find it funny. Some of you might find it sad. Some of you might find it frustrating. But the point is that I hooked you because of a story. I painted a visual of my childhood, and now you can be like, oh, that's how he felt. And that way you can feel some way about that as well. Now, if I couple that to a transformation, which is very obvious in certain people's marketing, right? I used to be a loser taking the city bus. People call me the N-word. They say I'm broke. Now I'm driving a Lamborghini SVJ. I have my dream girlfriend. I have my dream penthouse. It creates a transformation for people. Everybody likes a rags to riches story. Nobody likes, I came out of the womb, I was rich, and then I had a Lambo. Nobody can relate with that. Most people, they like the story of, I was nothing, I had this disability, this didn't work for me, and I had this other problem, and still I made it. Because it shows people, even without everything that you want, you can still make it, which gives people belief, right? And belief is conviction. Conviction means they can take action. Third one, sales come from trust. Once trust is installed, sales chase you. This is why you see so many people right now in the space, right? Optimizing for trust, optimizing their testimonials, their social proof, because they know there's so many people in the market. Everybody's saying the same things. Yeah, I'll get you here. I'll do this. I'll book you this many appointments. I'll implement this AI, which is going to do this for you. But what is the difference? How do I know whether you're good and he's bad? The only way I can differentiate is by seeing your client results, by seeing your testimonials. This is why you see us posting client results. This is why we focus so much on delivering an S+ tier service so that we can get the client results necessary to reinforce the flywheel of marketing. Because if I show you like, hey, here's Arjan, he went from 0 to 100K a month with his AI agency. Here's Noah Tussler, 16-year-old high school dropout, 17 years old right now, went from 0 to 30K a month with his AI agency. Here's Lanzi, scaled from 5 to 30K a month with her LinkedIn agency in 3 months. If I show you these, you can go, oh, okay, so these people obviously know what they're doing. If I only said, oh, here's a framework on how to scale from 0 to 30K a month, you still have to find out whether it works or not. But if I show you a bunch of results, right, then you're like, okay, this must work, right? Obviously it worked for them, so hopefully it works for me as well. One testimonial is a fluke. It could be lucky, right? Anybody could get some result somehow. If you have two, it is a coincidence. Three, okay, it's a pattern. This person has something. They got something that probably works. So always aim for at least 3 testimonials when you're starting out your business. And of course, from then on, it's just as much as possible. And what I've seen work so well is a pre-call VSL, right? So when you have sales calls, a lot of people, they book a sales call and then they just wait for the sales call to happen. This is not how you make the most amount of money. What you do is you book a call, right? You get somebody to book an appointment with you, whether it's from ads, content, doesn't really matter. Then you send them a pre-call VSL. Pre-call VSL is basically a video geared extensively and just purposefully towards pre-framing and pre-selling this person. So how do you pre-frame a person? It's basically taking away all the limiting beliefs they currently might have towards your product or offer. How do you pre-sell them? By showing them testimonials, client results, social proof, so they actually believe this is possible, it has worked for others, it works for you, and it works in general. Number 4, lifestyle above everything. People buy into the life you live, not just the thing you sell. If I say, hey, scale to $1 million a month by doing 20 hours of cold outreach every single day, it's not just about what do you do or what do you sell. It's about what does that product create in terms of lifestyle benefits. If your system allows people to lie on the beach with a cocktail, that's a lot better than if your system has to get somebody required to spend 16 hours in front of their desk. Would it enhance their daily life or would it take away from their daily life? If your lifestyle is nothing aspirational and you're trying to sell coaching, good luck. People might buy because your solution works, but they will never aspire to be you, and so they won't retain. They will just be with you to fix their problem. If you have a desirable lifestyle and people are like, I want to be you and I want to be around you, they'll stay forever because they see you as somebody that they could be with. Be as desirable as possible. Make your lifestyle as desirable as possible, especially in info and coaching. Number 5, clarity beats cleverness. Speak from your experience, not to their insecurities. So what a lot of people do is they talk at a person. So they go, hey, if you're a coach who wants to scale to 50K a month, when I say it like that, your brain goes, okay, he's pitching me. But if I say, so I've helped over 30 coaches make over 50K a month, now I got your attention, because it's not the normal pattern for somebody to say that when they start pitching. Because now what I might say is just something valuable. So what I've learned from helping over 30 coaches achieve over 50K a month is that ... And now I can still pitch them, but it will feel less intrusive. Whereas if I go, so if you're a coach who wants to scale to 50K a month, here is how it works, right? Now you're like, okay, this guy's gonna sell me something. Number 6, show gratitude. Nothing grounds you faster than genuine appreciation. The moment you go, I'm grateful for what I have, right? People naturally feel more relatable because they're like, okay, he doesn't take it for granted, which is always an attractive quality. I could be like, we've helped people scale to over 100K a month. Why are you not over 100K a month? Yeah, you're a loser, right? In which case you might feel like urgency, you might feel some triggeredness, and you might feel like, okay, maybe I need to get to over 100K a month. But I can also say, I'm so grateful that I've helped so many people scale to over 100K a month. And it just fills my heart with joy to see somebody literally go from being completely stuck, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to sell, and not knowing how to hire, train, and manage people, to now running a successful company, being able to take their time off and being able to just live their life and have a profitable business that works for them, not against them. And now they're finally really in that place where they're fully autonomous, they can fully do what they want, and they got the time, location, and financial freedom. All right, now I still pitched you in a way, but it's subtle, right? It's not me going, so if you want to scale to 100K a month, no, it's me going, I'm so grateful for that I've been able to achieve this. Now you see me as a person that's happy to see others win, which I actually am. But the point is that it makes me more attractive as somebody to buy from. Because a lot of the time with this very polarizing marketing, you'll feel a lot of resistance to buy because you kind of feel like if I pay you, I'm saying you're right. Right? And you just said that I'm a loser. So by me paying you, I'm reinforcing that I'm a loser. Whereas with what I did, I just create the frame of like, when you pay me, ultimately we're going to smile, laugh together, and be grateful, which is a lot more attractive than saying, yeah, I'm buying your stuff because I'm a loser. All right, number 7, people don't buy from who's best. They buy from who they believe is the best. So they might be able to get better results with you, for example, but because you don't have the positioning, you don't have the Instagram followers, you don't have the YouTube subscribers or whatever it is, they will not buy from you and they will buy with the other guy or girl, and they will pay there and they will pay in full. And now you miss the money, even though you know I could have delivered a better product. You have to increase your positioning, your leverage, and your messaging and upgrade it to the standards where you actually show the real value of the value you have, rather than thinking I'm really good at this, so therefore people will ultimately come to me. That's never true. They will just go to who they think is the best. Somewhere out there in the world is a dude who made better tasting cola than Coca-Cola. Who cares? Nobody knows him. Okay, number 8, don't ask how you can't, ask how you can. Energy follows the framing of the question. A lot of people have a problem to every solution, but what you should have is a solution to every problem. Most people, they think, why can't I? And then they come up with a bunch of reasons for why this is not possible, why they can't do it, and why they shouldn't do it. Solution-oriented thinkers go, how can I make this possible? So even if it seems impossible, I don't care, because I still want the result. It's not about what's good or bad. It's not about what's right or wrong. It's about what's effective. And what's effective is not, how can this not happen? What's effective is, I want something, how can I get it? I don't care how many limitations and obstacles and problems are in my way, because no problem is gonna take away my desire to get this thing. So I don't care that, yes, there will be 100,000 limitations, but I still want the thing, and so I still have to figure out the way to get there. So I don't even bother with thinking about the problem. I bother with thinking about how I will solve the problems. Number 9, right? Have what they want. A couple years ago, I tried to sell self-improvement coaching, but at the time I was living in a 4x4 bedroom. I was living with my mom half the time and half the time with my girlfriend. I was not in shape. I was not making substantial money every single month. And so I had to take a deep look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I'm trying to sell how to create your dream life, but do I have my dream life? Not really. So I created this whole 30-minute VSL. I never sold anything. But the point was that I just had to be realistic with myself and say, like, I don't have anything desirable. So why would people buy from me? If I look back, I could have probably made something work with the knowledge I have now, and I could still have had 10K a month. But I would have had to angle it very differently. Back then I was trying to sell like how to create your dream life and travel the world, which I did manifest, right? Fair enough. But the point is that at that time, I could have better probably sold an anxiety course, because that's what I did have experience with, getting out from panic attacks and anxiety. So if I had created a coaching and course around that, I could have easily made a 50 to 100K a month, but I didn't know that. I just was like, oh yeah, what's desirable? I see Hamza, I see all these self-improvement YouTubers sell how to make 10K a month, how to travel the world. So you know what? I'm gonna sell that as well. But I don't have any testimonials, no social proof, and I don't have the result myself, and I'm not in shape. Right? So it's like you're trying to do something that you don't have it. It's like I'm trying to sell an iPhone, but I don't even have the iPhone. Doesn't make sense. Number 10, your brand is a vision board. Your Instagram should look like your ICP's vision board. For the very simple beginner B2C, it's going to be Bali, airplane, 10K a month in their bank account, being in shape and having a cool girl or something like that. For the a bit more high level operators, it's going to be like systems that run 24/7, a team that does all the sales. Like it's going to be different things, right? But whatever it is, your brand, your Instagram, your content, your social media should basically look like their ideal life, their ideal vision board. And that way, you're the aspiration, you're the ideal that they're living up to. Number 11, you become high ticket by looking high ticket. Perception precedes price. No matter how many people go, I'm tired of Lambo marketing, I'm tired of people flexing, you cannot deny people are simple creatures, right? We see something, we want it. We see some other thing, we don't want it. If you look like, let's say, H&M, and you're trying to charge Louis Vuitton prices, it's not gonna work. You have to look like Louis Vuitton to sell Louis Vuitton. Your brand, your habits, your consistency, everything. Does that mean you always have to be picture perfect with premium luxury items around you? No, it just means that whatever it is that you represent is of high quality. So even if you don't have a Lambo and a private jet, something that is high quality is literally consistency itself. If you're extremely fucking consistent with your content, your messaging, and you're showing up every day, that in itself is something that people don't have and they want, right? People are always asking, how can I be more productive? How can I be more consistent? How can I be more disciplined. So if you show that you're extremely disciplined, focused, and consistent, naturally people will feel attracted to you. And again, it's a premium quality, right? Premium and being high ticket is just being the 1%, right? Embodying the 1%. So speaking like the 1%, having intonation, having presence, having energy, having an aura, having luxury status items around you, it all boosts your positioning, your perception. Number 12, elevate what you sell. People want to feel they're stepping into something rare, not common. Extremely important if you sell info or coaching. You're selling a world. You're selling something people can be a part of. And when people feel part of your world, they will stay in it. If people come into your ecosystem or your world and it's boring there, right, they will leave. It's like an attraction park. They have to come in and go, wow, this is amazing. Whoa, there's so much stuff to do. I haven't even discovered everything yet. I'm now in the first couple months. I'm in the beginning section, but after that, I can go to this section in the attraction park. It almost has to feel like this massive game with infinite possibilities, and they can just walk around and discover new things and new lessons and new experience. Then people will stay with you. And one prerequisite of that is you evolving endlessly. If you stop evolving, if you stagnate, if you suddenly are like taking a hiatus of like 6 months, people are going to see it, people are going to feel it, they feel like, okay, this is not progressing, let's look for something else. But if you're constantly raising the standard, people will naturally feel like, I need to keep up, I need to keep up, I need to keep up, especially if your habits are the top of the standard. Number 13, authority accelerates belief. Referencing credible voices strengthens your own stance. For example, Tai Lopez here in my garage, one of the most famous advertisements, the original info marketeer of our generation. In his video, he quoted 20 mentors and billionaires and millionaires. And it all reinforces his authority as well. Also, it makes you look smart, right? If I constantly reference different billionaires, like Henry Ford, for example, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. This is me referencing already 2 billionaires. How do I know about that? Because I studied, right? So now it boosts my authority as well, because you think, okay, this guy studied. Makes sense? Makes sense. Number 14, trust the data. Don't assume. Test, measure, and move forward with clarity. Without data, you cannot make good decisions. One of the people we growth operated for, he had about 30% show rate. So we implemented a person that just contacted people after they booked a call, right? So they book a call, they book an appointment. Now this person texts them, messages them, and then calls them to confirm the appointment, send them some assets, send them some homework, and suddenly, boom, we increased the show rate from 30, I want you to listen to this, from 30 to 68% within 3 weeks. Absolutely crazy, right? All because of data. When you have data, you can make accurate decisions, because there's only so much data that you really need to track for you to scale to 100, 200, 300K a month profitably. Show rate, close rate, booking rate, right? Those are the 3 main ones. And you, of course, have ad spend, follow-up calls, all that kind of stuff. But those are the most important. If you know, okay, if we just boost the show rate by even 50%, we make, let's say, 50% more money, easy win. Right? Let's say your show rate, again, like I said, is 30%. It's not that hard to get it to 40 or 50%. Let's say your closing rate is 50%, right? And you're going to be like, okay, what's the highest leverage move? Okay, we're going to try to get the closing rate from 50 to 55%. That's not the highest leverage if your show rate is 30%, because you already know, if I only have 2 times more people show up and we already have a 50% closing rate, we will basically double our revenue. Whereas if we focus on getting our closing rate from 50 to 55, we would only have 5% more revenue. So with data, you can quickly know, okay, this is the key point that we can now increase to instantly unlock the most amount of revenue growth. All right, number 15, repeat what works. Doubling down on proven actions compounds faster than chasing novelty. Most beginners do this, right? They have been struggling so long. They've been trying all these different methods for so long that once they finally do find something that works, the first thing they think of is, how can I do something else? Right? So now you finally found an outreach message or an ad creative or a piece of content that gets clients. And then your first thought is how can I make a different piece of content? No, your mission is now to replicate the same thing you did to get that 1 or 2 or 3 clients to 100 clients. That's the only job you have now. So once you find something that works, the only thing you need to do is double down on that. Right? Once you have ad creatives that are winning, don't go, okay, now I need to make new ad creatives. You go, okay, how can I double down on these ad creatives? Right? And then spend more money on them, because you've proven that they win. So once you prove that something wins, continue it, double down, multiply, and always look for what is the actual thing that makes this work. So many people miss this. So once you find something that works, find out why it works. And the easiest way to do this is make subtle changes. So this is something really important. When you want to test something, make one change at a time. So let's say I have an ad and it has a red background and it has some text. If I would be dumb, I would, for the next ad, change the text, change the background, and suddenly make a video, right? Now I have no idea what could actually be the reason why this ad worked because I changed everything. But let's say I change only the background color from red to green. Now I know, okay, this ad, when it has a red background, has, let's say, 3% CTR. When it has a green background, it has 4% CTR. Therefore, I can conclude, right, my hypothesis is that a green background works better than a red background, which gives me more data for the next ad that I will run. Now, when I have the green ad, right, I might test it, duplicate it, and be like, okay, I'm going to keep the background green, but I'm going to change the first line of the copy. Not the entire copy, just the first line. Then I test those against each other and be like, okay, this ad with this first line as a copy works better than this one, right? And that way I can keep testing and finding new data on what works and what doesn't work. If you change everything at once, you have no clue, everything is a waste. If you change one thing at a time, you'll know, okay, this is the reason why things work. This is the reason why things fail.